the Slovak officials lead out Glasgow Celtic and St. Patrick's Athletic. It really is a home from home. You've probably heard the fields of Athenry. That's not the only Irish flavour there's been around Glasgow today. From Boyzone in the public address, pipe music in the shops, to Bewitched entertaining the fans in the stadium, to the traditional fields of Athenry. And of course you'll know the history of Glasgow Celtic. It's as Irish can be in Scotland. And here they are entertaining the champions of Ireland. Third time they've had Irish opposition in Europe, and on each occasion it's been in the European Cup, in the second round in fact. They played Waterford in 1970, and 9 years later they played Dundalk, who scored a memorable draw against them at Oriel Park. The Celtic team, well, you know, there's no Morten Weghorst, the Danish international, but it's studded with World Cup talent. It's a team full of famous names, and a team that'll line up like this.
Well, we see Celtic here. We're expecting them to say it's a 3-5-2 with the wing backs of McNamara and Mahed being the swingers in it. Obviously they're going to have a lot of possession, and we could talk about St. Patrick's tactics to counteract that. Of course, Larson being the front man, brought back a drop it a little bit deeper.
And as for St. Patrick's Athletic, well, worries for them. They're without their two full-backs. Willie Burke and Keith Doyle are unfit. Jeff Clark, the Canadian international, is in on the right, and Paul Campbell on the left. The good news is that Trevor Malloy is fit to play, and St. Patrick's Athletic will optimistically line up as a 4-3-3, though more realistically it might be a 4-5-1.
Well, we can expect Trevor Malloy and Liam Braithwaite to be going out wide when Celtic have possession, and you know, every Pats player will be getting behind the ball quick just to frustrate Celtic. St. Pat's they've done an awful lot of work for this game. It's not just a big occasion for them. They are actually they're out to make it the game alive, keep the tie alive going back to Dublin. They've done an awful lot of preparation. 6 weeks pre-season, they've played 6 matches, so they're out in the huddle there, and we wish them all well. I think they'll do well.
Well, it's certainly a team that's together, and they know they're on the big stage, and they know this is a great occasion for them, and they have huddled before Celtic got down into their typical pre-match routine. So the psychological round one has gone to St. Patrick's Athletic, as planned by Pat Dolan, their most astute manager. And incidentally, rumours about his early departure are all exaggerated. He assured us this morning he's here in charge of Pats. His priority is St. Patrick's Athletic, and whatever happens, he sees his future at Inchicore. And he's certainly very much in charge tonight with Pete Mann, formerly of St. Francis, of course, who took them to the Cup final in 1990, as his assistant. Bohan Benedict from Košice in Slovakia leads a Slovak team of officials. Interestingly, Dr. Joe Bengloš, Celtic's new manager, is Slovak as well, which is a strange confluence of influences on this night. And a great atmosphere in Celtic Park. It's the first competitive fixture in this stadium with its new capacity, and what a night it is for St. Patrick's Athletic. And the most important thing for them, of course, is that they don't concede an early goal, that they can grow into this occasion. Here's Malloy, chance to turn. Oh, and saved by Jonathan Gould. And that will have done them a power of good, and Gould's clearance comes to McNamara. Ahead on Paul Campbell, a little out of position at left back, puts it out of play.
Actually, it was not a bad chance, I felt, for Trevor Malloy so early. He didn't get hold of it with the left peg, but Liam Braithwaite did well. He blocked it down, and it was a good chance.
Throw to come from Celtic. Larson, McNamara. Larson once more, and sweeping it wide for Mahe. Braithwaite faces him. Reggie Blinker back inside for Paul Lambert. Craig Burley, who got that hairstyle during the World Cup. Reaper and Boyd brought back on for McNamara, brought back once more. Hawkins has gone back to cover him and effect the clearance. And now Gilzeed. Osam. Big stage for him, and a plucky little ball played out there. Loose one from Malloy though. It's now with Jackie McNamara. Brat back. Looking for McNamara again. Campbell got in the way. And it's Malloy holding off Bratback. Play on, says the Slovak referee. Malloy tucked inside for Gormley. And back for Packy Lynch. And Jeff Clark, the right back. Gormley. Nicely played inside for Clark. Tracked back by Blinker. It's Clark. Well tackled by Blinker. Got back well. Played forward over Hawkins' head almost by Lambert, but Hawkins read it superbly and directed it back to his keeper, Trevor Wood.
Yeah, Colin Hawkins did read that well, but I mean, he will actually probably take heed of that. The long ball just switched.
It's Trevor Wood into Gilzine. Stubbs came with him and got their second time. Gormley in to win it. Come to Malloy, little knockdown for Russell. Russell forward for Malloy once more. Reaper out of the middle. And Lambert. And Burley. And Blinker. Bratback. Off Gormley. Out for the throw. To Celtic. Blinker. Stubbs. And Reaper, scorer of Denmark's first goal in France '98. McNamara. And eventually put out a play by Hawkins. There's Reaper for Lambert. And on from Mahe. Bratback. Blinker. Well read by Braithwaite to get back to make the challenge at the expense of the throw to Celtic. It's Lambert. With him is Osam. And Osam got there. And it's Russell popping up on the right side. Forced into the error. Throw in. Celtic.
You can pick up the nephew David Buchanan, who's aged 8 for the police control. Colin McPherson, you can pick up Donald Buchanan for police control.
Reaper. This time it's Packy Lynch in the way. And Russell. And back for Clark. Clark seeking Braithwaite. Mahe holding him off. Braithwaite still battling on. Braithwaite goes down. Play on to the referee. Now it's Lambert. Looking for Henrik Larsson through the channel. And Lynch taking no chances, putting it out.
Well, St. Patrick's, the game plan is fine so far, just making sure they're getting behind the ball very quickly, and concentration, that is vital.
Lynch got in first. Now it's Stubbs. Struck wide for McNamara. Back then for Tommy Boyd. Reaper. Mahe. Interception by Clark. Now for Gormley, little look, see what's on. Square to Martin Russell. Malloy out left. Russell inviting Malloy to run on. Boyd all the way back to Gould. And the clearance not terribly successful. Well, it found a Celtic man, but it didn't get the length he wanted. Maybe he'd claim it was a pass. Blinker. And then on for Bratback. Last touch to pass player, Celtic throw. Blinker. Arson. Oh, here comes Bratback. And saved by Wood. And the first real indication of the Celtic threat. But Trevor Wood had his near post well covered.
Yes, the old 1-2 played here, and Packy Lynch was just, he was caught like not a great attempt on goal.
Jackie McNamara will take the corner. Stubbs is on the near post. Reaper's in there too. And as Reaper tries to get there, but it's well defended by Colin Hawkins. It's McNamara once more. Craig Burley. Stubbs back in the danger zone. A push by Blinker on Clark. And the referee right there indicating the free kick to St. Patrick's Athletic.
there's a lot of quick movement among the Celtic forward line there, and of course that's and then really it's the concentration is vital. There's no sense in sort of passing on players in tight areas like the penalty area. You've got to go with your runner all the time.
Wood's free kick. Gilzine goes up. Then it's Osam. Wide by Stubbs. Braithwaite making it difficult for Mahe, who's regained his feet. Or his footing, to be more accurate. And this is Mark Reaper. Gilzine closing, back inside for Stubbs. For Blinker. Facing in Clark. Blinker trying to find Larson. And no foul. The challenge was clean. The referee was right there. Been impressive on the part of the referee. He's been right at the breakdown every time. That's a poor ball by Reaper, intercepted by Malloy, taking on Tommy Boyd, but the ball's gone out of play.
Yes, these little short diagonal runs they've got to be very careful about. And you see like Colin Hawkins there making a late challenge.
Trevor Wood, Jersey born, Northern Ireland international, and now the fixture between the uprights at Richmond Park and indeed this evening at Celtic Park. Osam on towards Braithwaite. There's Blinker. Larson. It's for Burley, but Malloy almost got there. Now it's Boyd for McNamara. Paul Campbell committed himself there. Well challenged by Russell, but it's Boyd again, stepping over it, brought back Osam at the point of breakdown, and it's Russell once more. That was meant for Campbell to run onto, but Burley got in the way. And now it's Mahe. It's Burley. Malloy came in. Burley was firm with this challenge, and it's now Boyd leaving it for McNamara. Boyd runs on. McNamara turning round Gilzine. It's Paul Lambert. Osam forcing him to play it wide. Mahe for Blinker. And Blinker taking on Clark and getting the cross in. Hawkins goes up, well defended. Boyd coming in here. Lambert now. Back again for Blinker. Facing Jeff Clark. Again the cross. Up goes Bratback. Again it's Hawkins with a header away. Lambert. Now Mahe. That's straight at Campbell. And his header straight to Boyd. McNamara's cross over Bratback's head, headed away by Clark. And now it's Lambert. Alan Stubbs for Blinker, and it's out of play. Throw to Pats.
Colin Hawkins has done very well there, like the two times there was at the end of those crosses. He's taking up positions early and concentrating. That is very good.
Early ball played on by Gilzine. It's Braithwaite on the run. Chasing him is Reaper. Malloy's in the middle. Braithwaite trying to drill it in and winning the corner for Pats. And I think in the circumstances a fair return on the big breakout.
That's good to see that. We want to see Leon Braithwaite using his pace there, and he got free down the right hand side, and that's what Pats will be doing, trying to do as much as possible in this game. And of course he's earned the corner kick.
Gould does the organising. On the near post is Braithwaite. Paul Osam, tall man up there to Paul Campbell, goes to the goal line. And Gormley swings it in. Hawkins at the back. Oh, and the header in fact at the end was Gilzine's, and he knows he should have done better than he did. Arriving unannounced at the back post, went over Hawkins' head.
That's a good corner kick. This is a training routine corner kick. Eddie Gormley swings it deep. There was a bit of movement before it came in, and of course Gilzine comes in at the back. Pity he didn't get it on target.
Larson and Hawkins got there first. Gilzine, well played to Gormley. And he goes for Braithwaite. Mahe goes in through him and he took the ball. The man fell over, no foul. Burley, Reaper and Boyd. Larson, Burley, Mahe, Blinker, Lambert, Burley and Boyd. Larson teasing Hawkins. Nice turn. Larson rolled into the path of Burley. Back for Boyd. All the men back for Pats. They've got to defend this well. McNamara, Burley and Wood was deflected off Osam and he had to put it over the top.
This actually stemmed. George Burley gets in a forward position here, and you see it there. Paul owes him and let him free there just for a minute. That can't be allowed to happen. Of course, then it's a goal scoring opportunity.
And it's
must keep tracking the players. Very important.
It's a corner to Celtic, and Reggie Blinker will take it. Gilzine back. It's come out to Lambert. And this time it's Osama away. Burley once more. Now Lambert. Mahe. Blinker. Larson. Burley. Right back. Looking for Burley again. Gormley back defending. And now it's Lynch. And roll for Malloy. Blinker coming with him. Malloy past Blinker. And now facing Mahe. Braithwaite goes through the middle. Malloy has a little look. Support from behind from Martin Russell. Seeking Gilzine. Professional defending by Alan Stubbs. Just made his presence count. Lambert. McNamara. Paul Lambert once more. McNamara for Blinker. Lambert. Now Tommy Boyd and Larson. Paul Campbell with him. It's Larson with Boyd outside him. Campbell sticking to his guns. Now it's Tommy Boyd. Past Malloy, but Russell in the way. And it's back again towards Malloy, and Boyd challenges him, and that's again not signalled as a free kick. A referee intent on keeping the game flowing, and there have been remarkably few stoppages in these opening 15 minutes or so. Reggie Blinker. Stefan Mahe. Good tackle by Clark. Mahe goes once more. Clark has to challenge again and does so. Well played. Corner to Celtic.
That was a well-timed tackle by Jeff Clark. St. Pat's are doing it well. As I said, they're getting quickly behind the ball. They're making it very difficult for Celtic, but they've got to keep concentration.
As ever, the corner comes from Jackie McNamara on that side. Curled in. Wood goes with the fists, and he got there. And it's out into no man's land, but it's retrieved by Larson. McNamara. Facing him, Eddie Gormley. McNamara trying to get around Lynch with a shot in, but it squirts right across the face of the goal and out for a throw-in.
With a situation there just a couple of minutes ago where St. Pat's were defending well, and Eddie Gormley just cut out something in the penalty area and played it out to St. Patrick's man. That's what they want to do. Don't give it away too easy.
He gave it away to Bratt back there. Gilzine though back to retrieve his error. Now it's Hawkins, and again, well, that's the get-out ball really. There was no one far enough forward, and they had to play something long to relieve the pressure, and they did. And now it's Lambert. Burley, and this time it's McNamara. Osam in the way. Campbell, Malloy. McNamara pulling him down. Free kick to St. Patrick's of Lent.
Yeah, Trevor Malloy did well there. Have the confidence to hold it up. Have the belief in yourself. And he earned the free kick.
Free kick taken by Paul Campbell. Malloy with a flick on. Gilzine trying to turn Reaper. And the pristine Celtic Park sod has been disturbed. Two rather nasty looking divots out of it. This no doubt will be repaired in due course. Marvellous pitch, big pitch, 80 yards wide, 110 long. Big pitch for a National League team to perform on, a big stadium for them to perform in. But Pats, one of the fittest, if not the fittest team in the National League, coached in that regard by Dave Mahedy from the University of Limerick. 7 of this squad, in fitness terms, would count as elite athletes. That's how good they are. Malloy. And challenging Larson, the ball goes out of play.
Actually, George, is 17 of that squad recruit is they're tested or done on proper scientific tests, excellent fitness.
Here's Larson. I'll have to hold up my hand and make my excuses. I meant to say 17, it came out as 7, but it's a remarkable testament to their potential.
Well, I must admit, I mean, Dave Mahedy I know from my time at Limerick, and Dave was top class when it comes to the physical side of getting the lads fit and getting the mental side of that as well, right?
Well, they seem to have got themselves through the first 20 minutes or so with confidence, as it should be. And of course, a game like this for a team like Pats is about growing into it and beginning to believe that you deserve to be on the same pitch as these players. Gormley cut that out. Osam using his strength, Braithwaite and Gilzine, and winning the throw-in off Mark Reaper. Pat Dolan's attitude is, you may not be paid as full-time players, and that's only because we don't have the money to pay you as full-time players. You may have another job, but you're a professional footballer nonetheless, and your attitude has to be professional. And that, I think, is what he's got from this squad, and he's had them here since Sunday believing that.
They're certainly well prepared, and as I say, so far they're going about their job excellently, brilliantly. Game plan so far, good.
Well, now it's Blinker against Clark, which is one of the duels developing in the evening. His shot saved by Wood, and there's Clark to get it away. But Alzam put in trouble. It's now Burley. It's come back off Lynch. Gormley trying to be acrobatic. Burley! Well, we know the kind of shooting power he has from the World Cup. And he attempted to bring it to bear there.
Well, Trevor Wood had made an excellent block from an earlier shot, but Craig Burley caught hold of that maybe too well. He was rising all the time. There you see the first shot. Yes, some blinkers, and of course a lot of pace, and he can't hold. He does well, carries it away. He comes out here too. He'll come back here to Craig Burley, and of course a snapshot. They say the pace, he just doesn't get his knee over it enough.
It was with Norway that he scored that stunning goal against in the World Cup. And of course, it's a kind of act that they've come to love in the East End of Glasgow, and Craig Burley. There's a superb atmosphere in here, and it really is just about full. 60,294, I understand, is the certified capacity of this stadium, which makes it the biggest club ground in Britain. And it all belongs to Glasgow Celtic. This is Paul Lambert. Burley. Blinker pulled away from Clark. Blinker still. Lambert goes round the outside. Lambert with a cheeky cross. Right back goes up. Oh, wonderful save by Wood from Larson. Blinker. It's come to Burley. Push wide now for McNamara. And now Tommy Boyd. And the cross. And Wood's challenged by Larson, and it's cleared away by Lynch, and there was no free kick awarded there. Now, Mahe. And Paul Campbell puts it behind. Pats might well have had a free kick there for the challenge of the goalkeeper.
Now, it was a great overlap by Lambert, and he just stinks a little ball back in. And we see Larson getting up here. What a great save. This is a really good save.
Trevor Wood on the top of his game. Here's the corner, McNamara short to Blinker. Back for McNamara once more. Blinker again, offside flag goes up, and the pressure is lifted on Pats. But that sequence of events, Trevor Wood's save, Trevor Wood's bravery when it seemed he'd been fouled, and Packy Lynch coolness under pressure to get it away. And Pats weathered the storm, and they now have a free kick for offside.
That's excellent. And you know, the nicest part of that was the finish there. The way they, after that period of pressure, the way they concentrate on just stepping out and leaving Celtic offside. That is good professional play.
Well, St. Patrick's Athletic have begun encouragingly here, but after only 7 minutes at Prenton Park in Tranmere, you're not going to believe this. It's Shelbourne 1, Glasgow Rangers 0. An own goal. Shells lead Glasgow Rangers by a goal to 0. That's the UEFA Cup. This is the qualifying round, the first qualifying round of the Champions League. And midway through the first half, Celtic 0, St. Patrick's Athletic 0. Mahe. Reggie Blinker. Larson stepped over it. Now it's Campbell, Gilzine, Osam and Clark. But disappointment as the ball is given away. Lambert. Burley. Reaper. Hoisted towards Bratback. Packy Lynch with the header. Eddie Gormley against Lambert. And Gormley losing a boot but getting the ball, but the possession has gone to Celtic. And Stefan Mahe has to retreat. Reggie Blinker. Burley. Now, Larson. On for McNamara. Cross over the head of Bradback, headed away by Clark. Onto it comes Paul Lambert. And Lambert tried to over for a shot, then closed down by Russell. Back it goes to Burley. Osam faces him. Across the face of the Pats defence, Jackie McNamara. Blocked by Paul Campbell. It's now Tommy Boyd for Celtic. Tucked inside for Burley. Burley on for Larson. Campbell challenges off Larson. It goes. Goal kick to Pats.
Yeah, Paul Campbell showing his experience there. He knew he could make the challenge and just play it against Larson. Just the thing about St. Patrick's there, it is important that, you know, when they are clearing the ball, if they can at all possible, they can't do it all the time, but try and find one of their own players. Jeff Clark there just gave it away unnecessarily. That can't do that.
Just to complete the story from Tranmere, Prenton Park, Birkenhead, Sergio Parini with the own goal. An Italian own goal puts Shelbourne in front against Glasgow Rangers. And here at Celtic Park, 25 minutes gone. First leg, first qualifying round of the Champions League. Celtic 0, St. Patrick's Athletic 0. Mahe goes on. Optimistic ball over the top. Hawkins sees it out. Goal kick to St. Patrick's Athletic.
And there again, Leon Braithwaite let him go. Mahe made the run and Leon Braithwaite was just ball watching just for a fraction. Again, I can't stress, it's so important. You must just, it's one little movement like that will do him.
Well, it's Glasgow. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's a bit like the Manchester of Scotland. It tends to rain a lot here, and it's started again, which might add to the excitement. Gilzine a little over-optimistic with that. Throw into Glasgow Celtic. And before you feel I've got it in for this fine city, let me tell you that my grandmother was born in these parts. So I have some affinity with the rain in Glasgow. This is Paul Lambert. And Wood has to save again. And that was a really good save by Trevor Wood. Because given the changing conditions and given the arrival of Bratback, he had to hold it.
I think there was a deflection as this as well, which credit. No. It was a good save. Good save.
Burley was pushed by Russell. Free kick to Celtic. Well cut out by Clark. Lynch for Braithwaite, taking on Mahe. Turning Mahe and getting away from him. And ahead of him goes Malloy. That's for Trevor Malloy. Now Gilzine tracks through the middle. Braithwaite's in there too. Alan Stubbs out of the centre. Support from Eddie Gormley. Malloy tries to shape for the cross. And a jinky little run of his that he so specialises in, and he's pushed. And the ball goes out for a goal kick. Well, that was a kind of industrial push that's allowed.
He just couldn't get the space, like, just to get in a decent cross. I mean, he was showing a bit of maturity there, because he didn't want to just put a nothing ball in.
Well cut out by Eddie Gormley. Hawkins, well played. Jeff Clark. Hacky Lynch. Gilzine on towards Malloy. Mahe goes up. And then it's Stubbs to dig it out. Stubbs for Lambert. Now Mark Reaper. Boyd. Straight at Osam. And left to go in and win it back for himself. And the referee saw that as a handball. Mahe awaits as Burley prepares to take the free kick. And it's played for Mahe. Pass Braithwaite on to Blinker. Blinker taking on Clark once more. Brought back at the near post. Darren Osan was back. He's having a towering performance, Paul Osan.
Yeah, he got himself into a very good position there. Put out that cross near post. See, Blinker does well there. He's getting a few crosses. There's good position in play.
It's a corner to Celtic, which is their 5th of the first half. McNamara as ever, with Reaper on the near post and brought back in among the defenders at the goal line. Reaper goes up. Challenged there by Hawkins. Then it's Lynch. It's come out to Larson and Lambert. And Packy Lynch snaps at his heels. Back it goes to Mahe. And then it's Tommy Boyd. Lambert. McNamara. Hoisted towards Reaper. Hawkins saves the day. Braithwaite. Russell poked on there towards Trevor Malloy. Nicely played against Tommy Boyd. Back it goes to Campbell, who waits and then plays a beautiful ball for Russell. Just a little too much pace on it. The idea was superb. Russell was on his way, but a little too much curl, and it took it out of play.
That was good play. It was very unlucky. The ball overpaced a bit.
Here's Blinker once more. Real thorn in the Pat's side on that left wing. Larson for Burley. McNamara. And then Boyd. That was Malloy. It's back with McNamara. Forward for Larson. Trying to find Burley. The attack broken down, and it's now Gormley. Blinker chasing after him. Gormley having to use Malloy, who was a little too optimistic and acknowledges the fact. Now Craig Burley as Celtic roll forward once more. McNamara. For Mahe. On for Blinker. Turn from him as Jeff Clark comes to mark. Back it goes Alan Stubbs. McNamara on to Boyd, but Malloy got in there. And now it's with Gilzine. Malloy makes ground up the left. Gilzine has a look. He's all on his own. Support from Eddie Gormley. Braithwaite's out right. So too is Clark, who pushes on. This Braithwaite. But caught between two stools, and Stubbs able to intercept. The break on here by Blackback. Stubbs pass though too firm. And a throw into Pats.
No, that's basically, I mean, what Pats don't want to do. I mean, they built up a lovely move there. They got a few passes in and then needlessly given away by Liam Braithwaite. Eddie Gormley's playing a real captain's role there, but he's been very constructive, always trying, he's probing all the time, not giving the ball away.
Alan Gilzine has won the throw-in. Ian Gilzine. Alan, of course, is his father. Freudian slip. Clark with the throw. Met by the forehead of Paul Lambert, and now it's Reggie Blinker. Burley. McNamara. Brought back runs. Hawkins goes with him. Masterful defending by the St. Patrick's Athletic centre half. He's playing with an injured foot, it should be pointed out, but he showed none of that in that exchange with Bratback.
His starting position was excellent.
McNamara. It's brought back. Back it goes to Reaper. Lambert. This is now Mahe. Blinker out left. Taking on Clark, teasing him again and turning him and trying to get the position for the cross. And it's all pretty, but in the end it's a ball back to Mahe. Can that produce an opening? No, because Osam with a wonderful challenge and Lambert wins it back for Pats. Inside for Gormley, left there for Russell. Gormley goes on, Gormley brought down by Paul Lambert. European Cup winner, but 2 seasons ago with Borussia Dortmund, Paul Lambert.
Here's Eddie Gormley, he's just played, I mean, little dummy there, let it go through to Martin Russell, who played him in there and he was taken down. Again, always available, Eddie. And it's so important, I can't stress, it's so important that they keep possession when they have.
Parky Lynch. The free kick towards Gilzine. Won there by Stubbs, on by Burley, but Osam is there. And on by Osam to Russell. And played into space for Paul Campbell. Challenged by Burley, and it's out for the throw, which Campbell will take. Quickly, looking for Malloy, but Boyd got in there, and now it's Burley. Blinker. Osam closes, it's on for Larson. Campbell, and he's grown into this role at left back. Russell, and sensible ball into space with the Renault green and white shirts. And then it's Clark for Gormley. Gormley and Hawkins. And do I hear a cry when the Saints go marching in? Well, the 1,500 or 2,000 who've come to Glasgow have seen their team perform most creditably through these opening 35 minutes. I'm sure they're enjoying their evening here. Boyd. McNamara. And Reaper for Mahe. And Lambert. Stubbs moves forward. Stubbs looking for Bratback. Clark challenged him. In goes Gormley. And away with the ball. Gormley seeking to set Malloy away, but overcooked it somewhat. Throw in to Glasgow Celtic. A fairly steady drizzle now descending on Celtic Park as Mahe moves forward. Bratback, Burley. Russell the nearest player to him. He's looking for Bratback. It's Lynch in the way. Here's Russell now. Threaded through for Gilzine. Back it goes for Gormley. And again the look to see who's on. And Osam is one. But he just failed to control it. It's come through to Tommy Boyd. Now Craig Burley. Little touch from Malloy. And then here's Campbell. Skipping away from McNamara's challenge. but going down with a second, and he's injured his knee in the process. And Russell is back to fill in at left back. And Russell has it, and Russell should put it out of play, and he does, to allow the attention to come on to Campbell.
This really would be tragic if Paul Campbell, because he has settled down. Of course, St. Pat's have all the full-back problems with the two lads who were out originally, and Paul Campbell has been playing an excellent game, very experienced player. We see it's the way he falls, like, I mean, is it that right knee, or let's hope it's not bad.
Well, they lost Willie Burke and Keith Doyle, and they were worried about Paul Campbell in the position, which wouldn't be his regular position. A really tough competitor, a man who was saying to us in the tunnel beforehand, when you walk out there and you see the place, you've got to go through the pain barrier to play here, and he'll do that. Man known to his colleagues as Soupy, and the reason for that will be obvious to anybody who's ever done the grocery shopping. And now who's singing the fields of Athenry?
Well, that's the Inchicore lads.
Hawkins. Campbell appears to be none the worse for that. Hawkins in first, then it's McNamara. And now Larson facing Campbell. Trying to thread one inside, and McNamara going down the outside, and did have it for pace. McNamara, oh, here's Burnley. Burnley, back Larson. Blocked by Osam. Oh, that was a real moment of danger in the St. Patrick's Athletic penalty area, but they got away with it. Malloy bundled out of it, ball goes out of play, throw to Celtic.
That was a very dangerous moment, and you do wonder about Paul Campbell. Was he just, you know, he wasn't fully recovered from that knock?
McNamara certainly had him for pace there. Mahe. Hawkins couldn't quite get up. Campbell did, though, and Russell gets it away. Well, it's a ropey little spell that Pats are going through now, but then you got to do that. You got to get through these moments. Celtic with the initiative, it's true, and the traffic has been mostly towards the Pats goal. Now here's Blinker taking on breakaway. Blinker's cross, and they all stepped over it. It's come through to McNamara. And McNamara looking for the penalty there, and then it's Larson played wide for Tommy Boyd, and Boyd hoisting one. Osam could get there. Burnley saved again. Here's Larson, saved again. Trevor Wood is playing out of his skin.
That was a brilliant save. It's right down, the goalkeeper's nightmare, right down on the deck, and he gets down there. It's brilliant. Here we see it's a great ball that's put across here. It's a good strong head from Burley, and that's an excellent goalkeeper save. And of course then the second block as well.
And here's the corner from Blinker, and Wood is there, full of confidence, clutching it safely.
He certainly is in form tonight.
Here's Burley. Two chances he's had. This is played for Blinker. Malloy goes back. Campbell stands off. Malloy tries to get at him. Blinker with the cross. Burley the knockdown. Lambert. And now Boyd for Blinker. Maybe they've detected a chink there in the Pats armour on this side. Floated in by Blinker. Firmly headed away by Hawkins. But Blinker, who'd been playing on Clark through most of the first half, significantly since Campbell got hurt, is now operating on this near side, which is Paul Campbell's flank. Mahe. Gormley ahead of him. Cut out by Clark. And this is now Lambert. Burnley. Ooh. And Wood, I think, was beaten by that one. The dive was despairing.
Yeah, he's using, I mean, the turf is damp, so it's well worth the crack from there. But it's deflected there. It's deflected off the Celtic player, so it's didn't trouble Trevor Wood.
Free kick to Pats. Campbell with a free kick. Reaper winning in the air. It's Burley. McNamara. Russell chasing back. Campbell slides in. And throw taken by McNamara. Lambert. Blinker. And straight out of play.
That's good. They harassed Larson into just playing a bad ball. The defensive side of their game has been excellent, Pat. Every man is just, they're getting little nicks. They're making it difficult for Celtic. Celtic are playing to play little 1-2s. And of course, great goalkeeping has kept them in it. But credit to every St. Patrick's player out there.
Malloy got the little flick, but the three-man defence. Reaper beaten, but Stubbs was there. Now it's Mahe. And Stubbs. Celtic press on. Stopped by Clark. Lynch slides in, but now it's Burley again. Stubbs. Mahe. Osam. Braithwaite. Gilzine back again for Braithwaite. The angle of the pass just not quite correct. Stubbs cutting out, and then it's Mahe. McNamara. Past Malloy's challenge. Not past Russell. And Malloy scampers forward as Russell holds it. Tommy Boyd looks on. Still Martin Russell left there for Trevor Malloy. Malloy with a look inside. Then forced to go back to Campbell. Campbell under pressure from Bratback. And going for Trevor Wood. Gilzine. Osam making room. Then it's Russell running into trouble. But it's come through to Lynch. No foul. And Lynch strikes forward, and Braithwaite had stayed onside, but can he keep it in play? And the answer is no. With the rain still pouring down on Celtic Park as we move into the final minute of the first half. It's been a highly creditable first half from St. Patrick's Athletic, who, as you'd expect, have been put under immense pressure. But they haven't panicked. They've kept their concentration. And that has to be the key through this game for them, to maintain the concentration against the Scottish champions. It's Craig Burley. Mahe. And then Tommy Boyd. McNamara. Swept in by him and headed away by Osam, who's such an important figure in front of the St. Patrick's Athletic back four. It's Paul Lambert, Reggie Blinker. This time it's Braithwaite against him. Back on that left wing for Celtic. Forced to go back to Mahe. To Stubbs. Stubbs going to try one. Never likely from that kind of range to the big defender.
Well, I'll tell you, St. Patrick's, they'll be delighted when they see that happening. You see Alan Stubbs hitting from, 40 yards? I mean, that shows that they're doing their job very well.
Russell. Stubbs then for Mahe. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Forward from Lambert, and the whistle goes for an offside against Celtic. Free kick against Bratback. Now how Pat Dolan must be wanting to get his players into the dressing room for half-time with the scoreline looking like that, so that he can commend them on what's been a doughty performance through this first half and give them the words of encouragement that will help them through the second. Flick on by Gilzine. On by Stubbs. And Lynch will let it sail through to Wood.
They'll also have the belief, of course, that they know they've catered for everything that Celtic have thrown at them. And that will help them. It should help them.
Here's Malloy taking on Burley, and he wins the free kick.
There we are, there's that belief we were just mentioning there. Trevor Malloy just taking on George Burley, beating him. Or Craig Burley. Another one of your slips, the Gilzean one. Back in a different era.
We're showing our age, Owen. But it's a free kick to St. Patrick's Athletic, well into stoppage time at the end of this first half. Now we know Eddie Gormley can crack them from this kind of range. But Martin Russell facing us, Trevor Malloy with his back to us, and Gormley with the captain's armband, ready to strike it left-footed, and a 5-man wall faces him. It's set up for Gormley to thump it, but he got right underneath it, and he'll be furious with himself that he did that. And that is the last action of the first half, and it's the boos that ring around the new Celtic Park as Celtic make their debut in this reinvigorated and re-inaugurated stadium. Their fans boo them off the pitch, having failed to break down St. Patrick's Athletic's resistance at half-time. A commendable first half from St. Patrick's Athletic. And lest you need reminding, at Prenton Park in Tranmere with half an hour gone, Shelbourne in the UEFA Cup lead. Darren Jackson makes his appearance for Celtic, the start of the second half, in place of Harold Bratback, which is a confirmation that Dr. Joe Venglosh, Celtic's manager, feels that there is not enough penetration up front. Jackson has been sent on to partner Henrik Larsson.
Well, it's indicative of the job that St. Patrick's are doing, and of course we all know that they've done half the job very well. Now, they've coped with the crosses, they've coped with the midfield runs, they've coped with the 1-2s nearly all the time, and when they haven't, their keeper Trevor Wood has been at the end of it, and he's made some magnificent saves. But it's so important that St. Pat's keep concentration, and we're talking about fitness levels. You know, fitness levels leads to mental fitness and all that, and that they're going to need that in the second half. Keep concentrating, don't let the runners go. Little nicks from the midfield players, forwards working back, and of course keep possession, try and give the defence a break. So far so good.
Great cheers all around Celtic Park for the traditional rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone. Bojan Benedict, the Slovak referee, blows his whistle, and the second half is on, with Celtic attacking the goal to the left, the city end of the Celtic Park Stadium. The rain still teeming down on the east end of Glasgow. Great noise all around this wonderful stadium. Celtic, who dominated the first half, seeking the breakthrough that would give them a position that would match their setting. Wood goes, makes another fine save as Larsson came in.
Again, excellent goalkeeping there, because Larsson was on the end of that. It was searching him out at the far post. Trevor Wood anticipated very well.
Well, 0-0 here, and we've started our second half, and the first half at Prenton Park, Tranmere, has gone Shelbourne's way. An incredible scoreline in the UEFA Cup. Shelbourne 2, Glasgow Rangers 0. Perini's own goal followed by a goal from Mark Rutherford in the 42nd minute. So Shelbourne, although playing away from home, their home leg, are 2-0 up, and Pats here in their away leg are acquitting themselves highly commendably indeed. This is Mahe against Braithwaite, who's made the corner for Celtic, but has made the tackle count. McNamara to take. Stubbs at the near post. Oh, the firm header went in there from Reaper. That was the goal, or the position from which he scored, is the opening goal for Denmark in the World Cup.
Yeah, it's just too much of the near post. He would have been better advised just to help it further across the goal. It was very hard to get an angle on it to get it directed towards the net there.
Wood's goal kick, or Sam goes up, and then Burley and Larsson, and Burley again, and Braithwaite got his head in the way, and here's Packy Lynch, and Lynch delivering one long, Gilzean chasing after it. Stubbs is there for Celtic, and Reaper, And on to Tommy Boyd. Mahe. Clark made the tackle, and Mahe couldn't keep it in play. Throw in is to St. Patrick's Athletic. Pushing on Gilzine by Stubbs, free kick to St. Pat's.
Leon Braithwaite has done very well so far in this half. He's cut out a few dangerous situations down that left-hand side of Celtic's attack.
And Paddy Lynch will take the free kick. Delivered long towards Braithwaite. Stubbs going up. Braithwaite got the touch on it. Gilzine rather got the touch on it. Braithwaite chases into the corner. Back then from Malloy. Too many green and white shirts around. And then Lynch brings down Larson, and the yellow card comes out for Paddy Lynch. The tackle on Henrik Larsson.
That is a good example, of getting the position wrong to start with. Paddy was just caught. Paddy Lynch was just caught in the wrong position. He brought him down, and of course the yellow card was merited.
Larsson none the worse. Reaper. Lambert. And here's Larsson. Nice turn. Lynch got there. Back pass. No. Well, that's a very charitable refereeing decision by Mr. Benedict. And meanwhile, the free kick's been given away by Malloy, and the card's coming out for him for the deliberate handball. Well, the Lynch put out his leg here as Larsson pulled away. And
you've got to say that Paddy Lynch did excellent. It was brilliant sort of touch that he got there. I would think that the referee's probably right, because there was nothing else he could do. Just get the touch. It wasn't a deliberate back pass.
Well, that was the referee's interpretation, and St. Patrick's Athletic had no free kick awarded against them, but a second name has gone in the book, that of Trevor Malloy, for the deliberate handball. And the second half continuing where the first one left off, with Celtic pressurising St. Patrick's Athletic, as they have to do as the home team, and indeed the highly favoured home team. Lambert. Blinker. Blinker's cross. Osam's header away. Gilzine. Back for Gormley. Played wide for Braithwaite. Blinker chasing him. Braithwaite. Back for Clark. And then Lynch. And Gould, who's had a relatively untroubled night. He hasn't really had a save to make.
It's important to get the shape again. So Patch just went a bit ragged there.
Stubbs on for Mahe. Mahe seeking Larsson. Hawkins heads away, and Clark can't prevent the corner.
It seems Celtic might have been advised at half-time to get the crosses in a bit earlier, because Blinkers has hit a few kind of angle crosses in, looking for Larsson.
Here's Blinker. Back again for McNamara, near post, ball was out, goal kick. It wasn't actually a save by Wood, he went down to cover the post, the ball was out.
But again, you see, this is a corner kick. St. Pat's, again, they must be alert to this. It's a short corner kick, it finds Larsson at the edge of the box, and it creates a goal-scoring situation. They must stay alive in these situations.
Osamon. And it's Stubbs and Mahe. Blinker. Larsson. Blinker. Hawkins there ahead of Jackson. Malloy intercepting Stubbs' pass and winning the throw. Clever play by Trevor Malloy.
Yeah, it was well done. I mean, he's just earned himself a throw, and it just gives the whole side a breather instead of just playing it forward and giving possession back, and then the back four are under pressure immediately.
Reaper throws to Celtic. Blinker. Clark and Braithwaite. And out off Blinker, goal kick, but again, indications that the composure is coming back to St. Patrick's Athletic, that they're prepared to settle in situations like that and take what is best for them out of them.
That is right, George. I mean, it mightn't seem such an important thing, but the two lads there, Clark and Braithwaite, just worked between them just to get a goal kick.
Kilzeen on from Malloy. He's read by Stubbs. Struck long by Stubbs, looking for Jackson. Jackson up ahead of Hawkins, but fouled him in the process, and it's a free kick to Pats. A frustrating beginning to the second half for the half-time substitute Darren Jackson. And a free kick to St. Patrick's Athletic. Push by Gilzine on Burley. But Pat Dolan in under the roof of the stand, not in need of an overcoat on this exceedingly wet night in Glasgow. It's Blinker and Stefan Mahe. Larson, Osam got up ahead of him. Larson again, and Osam and Braithwaite getting there. And Osam goes down, but it wasn't a foul. That was meant for Jackson, cleared by Hawkins. Burley up. Now it's Gormley taking on Lambert. Taking him on very, very well indeed. And picking out Braithwaite. And back it goes for Clark. And Clark showing confidence too for Gormley, but long leg of Lambert got there. Then Gormley finds Osam, and he helps it on towards Paul Campbell, but just had a little bit too much pace on it. And it's out of play for a throw to Celtic, but that was a neat little passage by Pats.
It was lovely play, particularly by Eddie Gormley. He's having a great game for St. Pat's.
Here's Mahe. Black boots for the second half. Reggie Blinker. Tackled by Clark, who's certainly grown into this game. But then it's Burley looking for Jackson. Hawkins masterful in the air. Oh, a shot here. Flashed across the face of the goal, and a goal kick. McNamara.
That's okay there. I mean, look, it's a snapshot. I mean, there's not much you can do about that. If they score like that, well, you say well done to the goal scorer.
Tackle of McNamara, ball put up by Campbell, throw into Glasgow Celtic. Stubbs and Mahe, and that change of footwear obviously indicating the treachery of the top surface in the incessant drizzle that's falling. Blinker, Larson, that's Lynch, Gormley, Clark, Gormley again. Sought Gilzine up the line. It's Stubbs who has it, and it's Stubbs for Reaper. And McNamara. Lambert. Burley. And Burley seeking McNamara. It's Malloy. And then it's Campbell. Forced into the corner by McNamara. And it's gone out for a corner kick to Celtic.
Paul Campbell won't be too happy giving that one away. He was trying to just play it off to McNamara there.
Dangerous moment then, once more for St. Patrick's Athletic, defending their 9th corner. McNamara, firmly headed away by Hawkins. Back in there once more by Tommy Boyd. And safely clutched in by Trevor Wood. Gilzine. And it's out of play for the throw to Celtic. Craig Burley, assisted by Mahe. Straight at Osam. Osam chopped at the back by Blinker, but he's a big strong lad, Paul Osam. Take more than that to shrug him off. Then he has a look, then he invites Braithwaite to run on, but Burley had seen it coming and the back pass goes to Gould. And Gould's clearance comes straight to Malloy. Forward for Gilzine, optimistic ball back to Malloy.
Ian Gilzine, he's got to know that he's got to hold that. You know, just hold it, bring his team into the play.
Blinker. That was Jackson. Here's Larson, back for Jackson. And Jackson with a cross that had gone out. It's a goal kick. There's one thing, Owen, that strikes me about the Pats performance, and I know we're only approaching an hour of the match gone, but Pat Dolan was making the point to us this morning about the difficulty of making a selection for a team like this, and what he went for in the midfield, which cost Tommy Morgan his place, was physical presence, and that has been important.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the experience of the three lads there, like, I mean, it is showing. Martin Russell's an awful lot of experience beside him, and of course Eddie Gong, we all know about him, and Paul Ozum's doing some great work. He's been the one that's been tracking George, Craig Burley, I said George again. Burley's been making those forward runs, and he's been doing some tremendous off-the-ball work.
This is Burley on the ball now. Mahe. Jackson back for Burley, then for Lambert, and on for Boyd. McNamara facing Campbell. McNamara runs, got the cross in, Wood's there.
His position was excellent.
Boyd got there, Campbell didn't want to commit himself, so now it's McNamara again to sweep one forward, deflected off Campbell, and again safe hands from Trevor Wood.
And safe hands is the appropriate there, because Larson was just waiting, a la Dennis Law, to top it in.
Gilzine went up with Stubbs. Stubbs' head was last to touch it, and it's a throw to St. Patrick's Athletic.
We're talking about that midfield of St. Pat's. It must have been a bit very disappointing for Tommy Morgan, because he's an excellent young player and, you know, such a fit lad. He gets around, but he might get his chance later in this game.
Throw to come from Soupy Campbell. Gilzine on from Malloy, and the decision is offside against Trevor Malloy. Stubbs for Mahe. Burley. This is McNamara. Boyd goes round the outside. And Campbell makes a challenge. And then Malloy makes a secondary challenge, and the ball goes out of play. And it's a throw in to Glasgow Celtic. Offside.
Well, you know, that's fabulous to see that, because it's sort of showing up Celtic, you know, as who's the professionals out there. The Pat step up, he stays in. Offside.
And just that little gesture from Jackie McNamara, he's wasting time. There's only just over an hour gone. There's plenty of time for Celtic in this match. But if they're gesticulating like that, it's indicative of a kind of frustration that's creeping into their team. And here's Gormley. Braithwaite showed a lot of that to Mahe, but did well. Still, it's Braithwaite. And Darren Braithwaite, oh, it was blocked by Stubbs. It's a throw in. Throw into Pat. Taken by Clark down the line for Braithwaite. Oh, too far down the line for Braithwaite. And a goal kick to Celtic.
He did very well there. He held it up, and the goal scoring. Well, he had the strike.
Campbell did the hard bit. Malloy profited, and now it's Gilzee. Campbell, nicely played, but barged out of it, bossed out of it. And it's Lambert, and now Craig Burley. Stefan Mahe. Blinker. Jackson, little touch on towards Larson, and he's got the free kick, and now Sam can't believe it. Little nudge on him, which seemed nothing out of the ordinary.
And that's it, Paul Ozam. Get back in. Forget about it. It's gone. Get back in your position. You can see Paul Ozam he just pulls him there.
Yeah, I think it's fair enough. He got a little tap in his ankle. Now, this is Paul Lambert, a three-man wall facing. Trevor Wood crouches 3 yards from his goal. Russell on the right end of the wall there. As Lambert comes up, oh, wasted. Clark, Gormley, back for Clark. Clark pulled back by Blinker, and a free kick to St. Patrick's Athletic.
You would think that if the referee concedes that it is a free kick, you might have thought it was meriting a yellow card.
Well, there's a hero for Inchicore and beyond tonight, Trevor Wood. What a marvellous setting in which to perform your heroics. This brand new Celtic Park. 61,000 in to see it. That's a free kick awarded against Colin Hawkins.
Oh no. No, that's a bad decision. You're right, Colin, that was the other way.
The referee bought the dummy, and it's a free kick to Celtic to be taken by Paul Lambert, and Wood has to push, and he didn't get the touch on it. Well, it was hung up there invitingly by Lambert.
Stubbs just gets a touch here. Yeah, just a little misjudgment there. That was just, it could be so important. Just one slight little error after playing such. He is having a great game.
Gilzeen, a little header on. Braithwaite chases, and he almost got there ahead of Mahe. Well, the brother of Darren Braithwaite is always going to be a quick man. 11-second 100-metre man, but it wasn't quite enough for him there. Now it's Alan Stubbs. Tommy Boyd. Burley. Back again for Craig Burley. McNamara. Oh, Sam with a great challenge. Burley! It was a great tackle by Paul Assam, but in effect it set up Craig Burley, and his shot was just too high.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about Paul Ozam, and just get that foot in there, just the touch there. He stretches out the leg there, and Burley has a snapshot similar to the one he had in the first half. Again, just doesn't get his knee over it. But again, good play by Paul Ozam.
And Celtic going to make a second substitution. They're taking off Jackie McNamara and sending on Simon Donnelly, who might well have considered himself unfortunate not to be in this team when the Morton Vicourse position was up for grabs. And now he goes on in place of Jackie McNamara, and that tells you the weight of expectation, that welcome he gets, tells you the weight of expectation that will rest upon his shoulders. Hossam Osam. This is Larsson. It might yet come from Burley, but no, it's Donnelly. And this was Mahe, and it's behind for a goal kick to Pats. Well, there's a cheer around Celtic Park, and I don't know if they're listening to radios or not, but if they were, they would know something that would give them great heart indeed, because their great rivals from across Glasgow have gone further behind at Prenton Park. Listen to this and believe it if you can. It's Shelbourne 3, Glasgow Rangers 0. Pat Morley, that great goal poacher, formerly of Cork, now very definitely a Shells man, who missed so much of last season with ligament damage, has scored in the UEFA Cup, and Shelbourne lead Rangers by 3 goals to 0 in what is ostensibly their home game. Here's another booking for Pats. But this is developing into an unbelievable night for Irish football. The free kick will have to be taken again. Eddie Gormley dived in there, and that was the reason he got booked. The free kick, which Craig Burley is coming up to take. And Burley floats, and Larsson's run was professionally impeded, and it's a goal kick for St. Patrick's Athletic.
A little bit of desperation about that free kick. There's no real purpose to it.
And here's another card coming for St. Patrick's Athletics goalkeeper Trevor Wood. Trevor Wood has been booked for time wasting after that free kick. That's 4 Pats players with their names in the book. And he's taken the goal kick. Osam trying to get Malloy away. Just too physical there.
Yeah, they were matching each other for pace there. Indication of good fitness levels.
And this is now Mahe. Blinker on for Larsson. Packy Lynch putting it out of play. Throw into Celtic. 20 minutes to go. Celtic 0, St. Patrick's Athletic 0.
It certainly is a great night for League of Ireland football. When we think back to last season, the pleasure that St. Pat's and Shells gave us, isn't it marvellous that the two of them are doing so well right now?
Reggie Blinker. Lambert set back for Stubbs to drill it. And again, Wood makes the save. It was straight at him, but it's a greasy ball, it's still raining, and he gathered it in superbly. Reaper. Donnelly. Free kick again against Malloy. With good discipline there too. He didn't protest, he got back into his position to defend the free kick. Donnelly. Boyd. Donnelly. Jackson. And Donnelly. Donnelly's shot, and again Wood down to save. Shown remarkably safe hands, Trevor Wood. A wonderful display of goalkeeping.
And again, like the shooting has been restricted to, you know, all of them outside the box. Good indication that everybody's doing their job. You say about St. Patrick's that the discipline is so important to be kept, but there's a few little silly free kicks being given away and unnecessary yellow cards too. And we keep doing the right things, because we don't want a silly red card, and then that would make the task so hard.
Well, Martin Riley is coming on for Trevor Malloy. That's Pat's first change, and that, dare I suggest it, is another piece of gamesmanship by Pat Dolan, in that he chose the moment when Trevor Malloy was as far away as possible to effect the substitution. I mean, he thinks things through so completely, and that would be another little thing that he's just worked out. And Martin Riley comes on to replace Trevor Malloy.
Yeah, Trevor Malloy, as we know, he's a bit of a hamstring problem there. He came off last Saturday night. I was watching them against Norwich City, and he's did well to last out so far. He did very well during his stay in the park.
And that with 19 minutes to go, and Martin Riley makes his entrance at Celtic Park. Hacky Lynch, but that's gone away. It's Lambert now. Mahe pushes on. Back for Lambert, but Osam got there first. And so Mahe has to track back. Lambert looking for Larson. Hawkins makes the header. Onto it comes Blinker, but Clark is there first and seemed to be impeded by Blinker, but the referee overrules it and says it's a throw-in to Celtic. Mahe. Osam again in there to break up the attack. Stubbs shoulder charging him out of the way.
Those long legs have worked wonders from Paul Osam tonight.
Blinker. Braithwaite makes the tackle. Throw in is to Celtic. This is Alan Stubbs. It just wouldn't come out from underneath his foot. Donnelly. It's Boyd. Donnelly. And this is Burley. A dangerous ball here. And well defended by Jeff Clark at the expense of a corner kick. And Reggie Blinker, the man who'll take this. McNamara, who usually took them, is off. Wood has to punch it. Job completed by Riley. Oh, and this is Tommy Boyd, who got his feet all of a tangle. Lambert, Donnelly, Lambert once more. Facing Paul Campbell, and his heel did the business there. Then it's Riley. And Russell, and Gilzine, and back to Campbell. Now, this is Craig Burley. Blinker. Osam there. Gilzine went up, and then it's Burley. And eventually Gormley brings down Mahe. Free kick to Celtic, taken by Burley. And that's Donnelly overlapping Boyd. Wood goes up, and again those safe hands clutch it in. And another Celtic attack is well defended. It's Reaper.
Because of the work St. Pat's are doing, when Celtic are getting down the flanks, they're having to get hurried crosses in, and not good quality crosses, which of course is making it easy for the goalkeeper.
Donnelly gave it away to Riley, but Riley has given it away, and Donnelly has it back once more. Now Burley. Gormley closes. Darren Jackson facing Paul Campbell. Jackson over the head of Wood, and Clark defends again at the expense of the corner, which will be Celtic's 11th in this match, to 1 in the first half for St. Patrick's Athletic. They've taken it quickly. Larson. In goes Lambert, stopped by Osam. Then it's Packy Lynch, Gilzine, Riley, and on it goes.
There was that quick corner kick again that Celtic took, so St. Pat's again, be alive.
Gilzine trying a very optimistic ball past Tommy Boyd. It ends in a throw to Celtic. Paul Lambert. This is Larson, and in the way was Lynch. Eddie Gormley has it, and a beautiful ball over the top to take the pressure off his defence. Braithwaite couldn't quite get there. It looks as though Darren Braithwaite may have a problem. Leon Braithwaite, I should say, Darren being his Olympic sprinter brother. Skilzine. And now Campbell. Hawkins. Looking for Riley. And Gould will leave his goal. Burley forward. Campbell did well there, but it's Larson. And now Donnelly. We're queuing up for him in the middle. Donnelly's cross. Well, Clark and Lynch did what they had to do. And Braithwaite and Gormley complete the job. Gormley cracked by Blinker. And the free kick's been awarded against Reggie Blinker. A free kick to St. Patrick's Athletic.
Again, we see the crosses coming in, and that time there was Packy Lynch and Jeff Clark, both of them coping with it. In fact, it's merely a question of too many crooks going to the broad there. And of course, Eddie Gormley bringing it out of defence and earning the free kick. Getting very tired out there. I see Eddie Gormley there. He's bending down, but he's put in some work. Let's just keep at it.
Well, Leon Braithwaite maybe suffering most of all. Hughes from Prenton Park. Rangers have got one back. A penalty from Jörg Alberts. A precious away goal for them. What a tackle by Paul Campbell. Martin Riley, I do beg his pardon, in the Paul Campbell position.
Well, that's probably a sign of it when you say that, George, because they're working so hard for each other. With Martin Riley filling in for Paul Campbell in that instance.
Here's Donnelly. Mahe. Hawkins got there ahead of Larson. Then it's Gilzine, he held that up well. Now Riley. And on it goes to Gormley. And that's a ball just to give some breathing space. Encouragement from Jeff Clark to Eddie Gormley, who is clearly feeling the pace. Hawkins got in. There's Reaper, and now it's Donnelly, who has looked a live wire, but Riley again, who finds a way through to Jackson. And Wood leaves his goal, and Donnelly came through, and Wood makes the save. I think it's significant too that since half-time, when Celtic sent on Simon Donnelly early in the second half, after the arrival of Jackson at half-time, that Pats immediately countered with Martin Riley. And he has had some defending to do against Simon Donnelly. And now here is Larson looking for Blinker, but Clark cut it out. And what a great second half he's had. Really grown into this game. Now it's Braithwaite taking on Mahe. Showed a lot of that to him. Mahe making the challenge. And the ball is now with Alan Stubbs. Stubbs then. Henrik Larsson. Craig Burley. And on to Tommy Boyd. Jackson. And Burley tries the shot. And Russell to bring it away. Gilzine. Worked it through to Russell somehow or other. And he picks out Osan. And Gormley pulls away to the right. Burley tracks back. This is though for Riley. Riley with a chance. Oh, and Martin Riley has put it just wide. Celtic torn apart. And that could so easily have been a shock league goal for St. Patrick's Athletic.
What brilliant play here by Paul Ozum. He's having a marvellous game, but he feeds Martin Riley, cuts in, and this is just outside that post. That deserved a goal. And what a sensation that would have been.
And meanwhile, a change for St. Patrick's Athletic. Trevor Crowley has come on in place of Leon Braithwaite, who was obviously tiring. But what about that for a breakout? And that's not to say that Pats have been backs to the wall all the time. A Trevor Malloy chance in the very first minute, and then Martin Riley with something that very nearly produced a goal for St. Pat's after what could arguably be described as the move of the match. And I'd have to endorse 100% what you said about Paul Osam and Eddie Gormley forcing those tired legs to push forward as well. And there they go again. Hawkins, Gilzine, and this is Jackson. 7.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go, and St. Patrick's Athletic have held the mighty Celtic. So far, so good. Mahe over the top.
Well, that is certainly frustration. The Pats are doing this job magnificently, and a real credit to the League of Ireland, that's for sure, as are Shelbourne.
Though we hear from Prenton Park that Rangers have got another back, and bear in mind, as Shelbourne's home game is being played in Birkenhead, Tranmere's ground, that's a second away goal for Rangers. Shelbourne 3, Rangers 2. No doubt fatigue playing its part there too. And another change on the Celtic team. It's their final substitute. Enrico Annoni goes on. And Mark Reaper goes off. And that coming with 7 minutes to go. Goal kick to Pats. Free kick to Shelbourne.
His first contribution after he's come on is not a very positive one. Annoni I'm talking about.
And there's the Celtic fans voting with their feet. It's quite remarkable to see, and the "You'll Never Walk Alone" is coming from the St. Patrick's end. The 1,500 to 2,000 who've made it from Dublin 8 are the ones who are chanting. They'd scarcely believe they could silence the Celtic fans in here. Riley trying to get in, but offside's been awarded against him. But what a performance it's been, these 84 minutes, and they have given them every encouragement, and it's been so disciplined. Such a credit not only to those who've performed on the pitch, but to Pat Dolan and Dave Mahidi, who've masterminded it all.
It's been absolutely brilliant. And the tactical side of the approach, the professionalism, top class.
This is only the first leg, of course, and it isn't over yet. Here's Eddie Gormley. Clark. Side of play, it's a throw to Celtic.
Eddie would have been trying to find a corner flag with that one, just miscued.
Annoni. Donnelly. It's found its way to Mahe. Donnelly continued on. Clark is now marking him. And this is Lambert. Riley trying to close him down. Lambert still. And this is Blinker. Blinker and Clark gets in the way, and out it goes. Corner to Celtic. Two footballs on the pitch. It'll be Reggie Blinker to take the corner. Hawkins up and away. Back in again by Lambert. Jackson trying to rise. And eventually it's cleared away by Crowley.
Just a word about those corner kicks. I mean, with the ball boys supplying the spare ball so quick, you know, when you're tired, like you've been defending a 0-0 there, it can seem to be a bit unfair on St. Pat's. They've got to be aware of that if it happens again.
It's Burley. That's looking for Donnelly. Campbell is with him. Well, he may be carrying a knock. He's gone through the pain barrier. He's had a great game. But this is Jackson. They still got some defending to do. Burley. Tommy Boyd. Oh, one right across the face of that goal. And a goal kick is the award.
Well, you know, we talk about teams keeping their shape and whatever discipline, but, you know, really, I've got to say that Celtic have lost their shape. I mean, it's kind of a bit of a panic stuff, just trying to get a last gasp winner. Maybe going to say equaliser there, George, I thought.
Well, it's not surprising, because the heroes that have been in Celtic Park tonight at Celtic Park's re-inauguration have certainly been the men from Inchicore. However this ends, this has been such a doughty performance by them. Champions of Ireland and taking on the champions of Scotland, and for 87 minutes making them look mere mortals. Darren Jackson against Colin Hawkins, and Hawkins in command.
Again, his starting position. He's a young lad, but he's played such a mature game.
Swung toward Blinker, headed away by Gormley. Mahe on by Stubbs, and throw into Celtic.
We see Colin Hawkins is down there in the St. Pat's penalty area. He just passed it. I think he had an injection in his foot to get him to play. But he'll remember this night.
He certainly will. Pat's goal kick. It's Crowley. Stubbs. And Jackson off. Larson blocked by Packy Lynch. And cleared away by Martin Riley.
That sums it up there, the way Packy Lynch threw himself in front of that. He was going to get a block on that, no matter what, that shot by Larson.
Now Celtic move forward once more. Just over a minute of normal time to go. Mahe sweeps the cross in. Jackson knocks it back towards Burley. Crowley comes, then it's Donnelly, on for Boyd. Martin Russell there with him. Tommy Boyd right over the top, and out of play it goes.
That's what I was saying about the crosses that have been coming in. They've been forced into just hitting hopeful balls in. That was a good example. I'd say hopeful, that was a hopeless one.
Just look at those seats behind Trevor Wood there. The Celtic fans, this ground was full, 60,000 here, and they're all on their way home early, disappointed at their first performance since winning the Scottish Championship for the first time in a decade, back in the European Cup for the first time in a decade, and they've come up against the Irish champions, who are playing only their 11th tie in Europe. Celtic have played 72 before tonight in this stadium. Pats home and away have played only 11, including this one, and only one draw to their credit in all that time. And now they're within moments of a sensational result against Glasgow Celtic. Struck long for Gilzee. We're into stoppage time at the end of this. Who would have believed it? Celtic sweep forward once more, seeking what will be a late winner. Mahe, blinker. Larson tries to head it. Corner kicks the award. This incredibly is Celtic's 13th corner of the game. And that was the head of Paul Ozam. It's come back towards Blinker, but in went Eddie Gormley. It's another corner.
There you go, George. It was Paul Ozam and Eddie Gormley tidying up that.
Lynch, and it's Riley who gets it away.
Another hero there, Packy Lynch.
And here's Osam to clear this time. And let's not dismiss this as a backs-to-the-wall performance by a team with no chance, because this is the big time. This is the Champions League qualifier. Bigger teams than St. Patrick's Athletic would be happy to come to this venue and leave with a scoreless draw. And indeed, those who have include Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, if you please. That's the measure of the achievement of St. Patrick's Athletic on this night. A minute and a half into stoppage time. And the referee's had a look at his linesman to confirm that they say the 90 minutes are over. And St. Patrick's Athletic are on the verge of an historic result after a monumental performance at the home of the Scottish champions, the spiritual home of Irish football fans abroad, you could say, and were better to achieve their finest European hour. Here comes Stubbs. Celtic seek that goal. Larson looking for Burley. Lynch gets down there. Now it's Jackson. Larson again, but a challenge from Jeff Clark. Grown in stature throughout the second half. Then Martin Riley up the line. And Paul Lambert has to go and retrieve. Another look at the watch from the referee. A firm look at the watch this time. It's Paul Lambert, European Cup winner with Dortmund. Enrico Annoni. Annoni strikes it forward, looking for Larson. On towards Jackson. Hawkins goes up, Wood saves. And another Celtic attack is ended.
It's desperation stuff by Celtic, but I mean, Pats have they've really done their job brilliantly. You said, George, about European performances. I mean, you see the likes of Man United going away from home instead of having to defend at times.
It's part of the course, it's accepted practice, and this is only chapter 1, with the second part to come this night week at Tolka Park. They may not have got an away goal, but if they get out of here with a scoreless draw, they're in a fabulous position to threaten Celtic's European survival this season. Paul Lambert. Stefan Mahe. 3 minutes and a quarter of stoppage time played. Paul Lambert. Past Osam. Back again for Lambert. Oh, a heroic block by Colin Hawkins. Knocked inside again by Tommy Boyd. This is Simon Donnelly. Still we play on. Darren Jackson. Back for Boyd to sweep in another cross, which he does. Crowley goes up, gets the touch, comes out to Mahe. Mahe tried to shoot, they try to close him. He's crowded out by Martin Riley. It's a goal kick.
Another great, Martin Riley working back there, but two great blocks, one from Colin Hawkins and the other by Packy Lynch. Heroic stuff.
Martin Riley on as a substitute for Trevor Malloy, and doing his stuff. They're so well drilled in what they have to do. Over 4 minutes of stoppage time now. It's a throw-in taken by Annoni. It's Donnelly now for Celtic. Tommy Boyd, Burley moves forward. He sweeps it to Mahe. Still Celtic go up. Still Pats must defend. Mahe. Wood watches it all the way and tips it behind for a corner. But there's time for no corner, because St. Patrick's Athletic have achieved their greatest result in their history, and to a resounding chorus of boos, they've reduced the Scottish champions to the status of mere mortals. St. Patrick's Athletic have done what Inter Milan and Atletico Madrid and Barcelona before them have done, and secured a scoreless draw in Celtic Park in only their 11th European tie. They've scored their second draw, their very first away from home. And to put that into perspective, this was Celtic's 73rd home tie in Europe. They've won 53 of them, and this is only the 12th draw in 73. That is a measure of the achievement of these men in navy blue and red from Inchicore. St. Patrick's Athletic, planned to perfection by Pat Tolan and his team, and executed to perfection by the 13 who performed on the pitch. What a remarkable game. A great performance by Trevor Wood. Chances for Trevor Malloy and Martin Riley, but stout defence in which Hawkins was outstanding, in which just in front Osam was outstanding, and in which Eddie Gormley led by example. But it's invidious, Owen, to single anybody out, because that was a night and a half for Irish football.
It was absolutely brilliant. Preparations were absolutely top class. The fitness that they showed, the game plan, the way that they frustrated Celtic, the individual performances, the collective, everything was absolutely top class. And I can take it from me that Celtic, I'll tell you what, they were really going on all guns, totally frustrated.
Well, the second leg to come at Tolka Park this night week. But what a great night for St. Patrick's Athletic. In only their second campaign in the Premier European Trophy, the European Cup, they lost away to Dynamo Bucharest and followed that up with a 1-1 home draw. And if you want to look at it like this, that's 2 consecutive draws in the European Cup, and that's St. Patrick's Athletic. What a great night for Pats. This is their night. This is Pat Tolan's night. This is a night for St. Patrick's Athletic. And this is Peter Collins with the manager, Pat Tolan.
Honest to God, yeah, they were 3-0 up at half time, they were 3-0 up front, and then Rangers pulled it back. How much time have we, Johnny? Okay, Pat Dolan, obviously a performance you're delighted with. Good result for you here at Celtic Park tonight.
I think tactically we were very good tonight. We were very organised, very disciplined. I thought we played some nice football at times, and you know, people know how passionate I care about Irish soccer. Sometimes we're